What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. This is episode 3 of the weekend recap, where we go over the stock market indexes in the United States. We're going over the week of May 6th through May 10th. It's just after 9:30 a.m. here, Sunday morning. What an emotional week it was in the market. And just this live stream, I'm just trying something different. Let me know if you guys prefer the live stream or if you guys just prefer me just to put the video out there. But let's get into it. The first thing we'll look at is the VIX. And like I said, what an emotional week it was. Whenever we mention trade talks with China, that's when we start to see the overall market get really volatile. And that's what happened last week. We have the VIX here. Starting Monday, right here, gapping up from 13 up to almost 19. But then all of Monday, it just slowly retraced all the way back down below 16. And then Tuesday, it gaps up, right back up. Gaps up to here. And then all day Tuesday was good opportunity. Markets were selling off. The VIX is going up. And then went right back down. Thursday, gaps right back up. Sells down. Friday, perks up a little bit and just sells all the way back down. It seemed like every single day last week in the market, I'd wake up, all futures were red. All futures were red but gold, natural gas, and oil. Next up, let's go to the SPY here. You could see just very, very emotional here on the SPY. Monday gapping down from this level we closed at on Friday, but then we just slowly grinded all the way back up Monday, and then Tuesday we got a slight downturn, and the market's just sold off right there. Tuesday or Wednesday, just pretty much a sideways day. Thursday, sell off, gets it back. And then Friday, sell off again and tries to get it back. Let's look at the daily here on the SPY. You can see after we touched this all-time high up here, we started to retrace. What I'm liking is we're bouncing right off this 50-day moving average. Not only are we bouncing off it a few times, you can see we touched it right there. We got a doji right there. And then we just been sitting at this level. We are puncturing through the 50-day, but we're coming right back up to it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens going into next week. I never like to try to predict what's going to happen with the market. I always want to try to react. But after we got this downturn right here, I'm looking next week for us to get a rebound and start moving our way back on up. Or we could just break through this 50-day and start moving our way down. And the next resistance we want to be watching is this 281, 280 level resistance here. And if we get back below that, then we got the 200-day. But the 100-day is in a sharp uptrend. The 300-day is just slowly moving up a little bit, going sideways. And we got the 200-day just slowly just moving on up right here. I really like how we're just sitting at this level right there with those two candles on the SPY. You can see way back here when we just sit at a level. What do we do from there? We started moving our way up, right back down, higher lows, and we just kept trending up and up and up and up and up and up. You'll hear a lot of people say, we've moved up so much all this year. That's just way too much. You got to tell yourself the markets can do whatever they want. The market doesn't have to do anything. And you got to tell yourself that. So when you hear people say a crash is coming, a recession is coming, you can't predict those kinds of things. You got to take the market one day at a time, 1 week at a time. What's going on? Sherry Lewis, how you doing? Yeah, it's the first live stream I've really done in a long time, giving it another shot. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. Thought I'd jump on early Sunday morning, do the market rundown, and just do a live stream and see how it goes. But like I said, an emotional week last week. You could see majority of them are green candles. So it's not like we dramatically sold off and just kept selling. What kept happening last week is we'd gap down and we'd have a morning panic sell, and then through the rest of the day, the market would just regain what it lost. So I'm still seeing strength in the overall markets. And the VIX, the same thing. The VIX would keep gapping up and then just selling off. So it's not like what we've seen in the past, way over here when the VIX just kept gapping up, 20s, 30s, 40s. Look at these red candles right there. So like I said, we just kept gapping up and then it'd sell all off. Gap up one day, Tuesday. What was that? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Monday was the only day the VIX held its gains. Wednesday gapped up, sold off. Same thing Thursday, same thing Friday. And we closed Friday just at 16. Whenever the VIX gets above 16, that's when I try to look for market plays. Comparing it with the TVIX here. Let's look at this on the intraday. So we see Monday here, it gaps up to 23, and then it just, look at the range on it, from 23 to, what's that, 22 up to 23, $1 range. That's not much range for me. And then Tuesday, the TVIX goes from 23 all the way up to a high of 29. Now I'm talking. That's range right there. There's opportunity right there. And if we go and look at the VIX, if I could type, see what happens here? The VIX gapped up Monday, up over 16, but then it was slowly retraced back to 16 and below 16. The next day it gaps up again, and it shoots from 17 all the way up to 21. So the more volatility we got in the VIX, the more volatility we're going to get in the TVIX. So it's like you got to keep track of the VIX, TVIX, and the SPY for market plays. All right, moving on here. We'll go to the Qs. Same thing as the SPY. We just got a pullback this weekend. But green candles, all green candles. 4 out of the 5 days were green candles. We just kept gapping down, and the market would just retrace what it lost. And I'm liking that we got 2 candles here sitting at the 50-day. And it's just going to be interesting to see what happens Monday. Are we going to start getting a rebound back up? All last week was slow. And all I pretty much traded majority of last week was the TVIX, because there was opportunity there. It seemed like we had a bunch of stocks just gap up and just sell off all day. And there was just nothing going on. I just remember that. And there was just maybe a couple random low float stocks that popped up here and there. But I like how the Qs are sitting right here at the 50-day, like I said. And we just had the 100-day cross above the 300-day right here. And to show you what the Qs did all this week. This is the intraday. Monday we got a gap down. We pretty much covered over half of what we gapped down to from Friday. Tuesday we sold off all day. Wednesday we just slowly went up and sideways. Gap down Thursday. Had a morning sell-off. Got back what we lost. And then same thing Friday. Big sell-off. Got back what we lost. So it was just back and forth all last week. All right, next up we'll go over the Dow Jones. Same thing, but with the Dow Jones, we're sitting just below the 50-day moving average. We got the high up here. We start to retrace. We fall through the 50-day. And again, we got 3 candles this time sitting right at the 200-day moving average. Just sitting at that 25,500 level. So I'm liking that. Like I said, from the standpoint of what I'm seeing right here, I'm looking for the overall market to start rebounding and moving back up next week. I think the market just got a little shooken up with the trade talks. And we are coming to the end of earnings season as well. Russell 2000, this is what I wanted to go over. I've said in my market recaps the past two, I was preparing for just the Russell 2000 to explode from this level because it was just consolidating. The NASDAQ was hitting all-time new highs. The SPY was just hitting all-time new highs. And I was looking for those indexes to motivate the Russell 2000 and push the Russell 2000 to an all-time new high. Or not an all-time new high, push out of this range. And it did, but for a brief second. So it looks like 2 weeks ago, we finally broke out of that level right there. And it just gave it right back and then slowed down. And if you look on this one, we got 3 candles here just sitting there. Look at that. Just sitting right there at the 50-day and the 200-day. Just below the 300-day moving average. So I'm just seeing us a good rebound up from this level. Unless anything drastic comes out over like going into tonight or Monday, just something crazy that will just totally shake the markets and have us just start selling off. But I'm seeing strength for a bullish week. Next up, we'll go over gold. Gold just still retracing and selling off. Look at that big death wick right there. I think the last time we talked, Shirley, gold was in this range right here, making its way up. But since then, gold's topped out here, pulled back, and just selling off. This death candle right here, just 2 of them, right through the 300-day moving average, down to the 200-day moving average, and just blows right through it. I really don't see support really until this level right here of 1150. Next up, we got oil just hanging around here at the 200-day and the 50-day. Kind of like going sideways. Moves up from this level, going up and up and up and up. Makes a high here. We get a pullback. Back down. Look at that. We got the 50-day about to cross over the 200-day. So look for a squeeze here to the upside on oil. I'm liking that right there. This 50-day coming right up to this 200-day. You could see it selling off, and then it just like starts to go sideways, like trying to almost like it's gonna start U-shaping. So I'm liking oil. I'm bullish on oil. And then we got the NDX, the NASDAQ 100. I always try to look at the Qs and the NDX. And again, we got just these candles just plotting right here, just sitting right at the 50-day. Bullish candles. We got the 100-day going up over the 300-day. 50 days in a solid uptrend. I'm bullish this week going on the markets for a rebound up. I could be wrong. I don't like to predict. I like to take it day by day. But from what the charts are telling me, this upcoming week's going to be a good bounce, I think. If nothing drastic happens, like I say, Trump's been getting a little Twitter happy last week, even tweeting about a penny stock and making a penny stock run. So anything could happen. What's going on, Kelly? We only have 53 years left of oil with its current production. We'll always have oil. Always. Whereas they have reserves of oil everywhere. Plus, I think we're moving into times to where we ain't gonna need oil in the future. Everything's going electric. Everything's going electronic. What's the name? Solar powered. I just heard recently, I read an article, we got solar powered stuff from the ocean. And then all those stocks started going crazy. All right, last one here. We got the United States natural gas. Looks like it's just been making it bottomed here right at 2150, and now it's just making its way. It's trying to make its way on up. You can slap trend lines on this if you wanted. I always try to keep tabs on all the major indexes, because if I see something trending up or setting up for a breakout, then I can look more into that index. Like if I got United States gas here, I see it's trending up, then I can go into United States gas, natural gas sectors, and I can see what stocks are in those sectors or in the sub-industries. Just strength. You got to know where the overall strength comes from. But United States natural gas is looking bullish as it's making higher lows and higher highs as well. Just slap a trend line right on that bad boy. You can see it slowly trending up. But that's going to be it for this weekly recap, guys. I just wanted to make a quick one. Keep it under 20 minutes. Don't want to make it too long. I'll have an episode coming out as we go over the sectors. It was just a bloodbath all last week. All sectors were red like every single day last week. And we just got a big pullback on all the major indexes. So going into next week, I'm going to be looking for a rebound. coming up and approaching at all-time highs or just highs period that were recently tested for all the indexes. Like the SPY, I'm going to be looking for a rebound up. The NASDAQ, I'm going to look for the VIX to stay back below 16 now that the trade talks have just settled down. And if Trump can just stay off Twitter, we got the Dow Jones looking for a rebound. I really like how they're just sitting there with these candles. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. All right, later, everyone.